What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a title called New Arc Line. We had a chance to take a look at this new CRPG about 6 months ago, but it was in demo format, so there was kind of a hard lock where you couldn't go any further. This time around, the game is actually officially out in early access, and so it's time for us to do a cursory appraisal of whether or not this is one of those games that you wanted to play. I did, which is why I'm playing it here today. I figured I'd just invite you along for the ride while I approach my first impressions of the game. If you've never seen New Arc Line before, New Arc Line is a game that's set in sort of like a Magitech, so it's a world where magic and also technology are in this struggle with one another. It's one of those games that's heavily invoking titles like Arcanum, if you ever played that, although that one's getting to be a really, really old reference. And inside of it, they've got a whole bunch of D&D mechanics, they've got a whole bunch of dice rolling mechanics, they've got a combat system that's jumping off. So far, I found all the dialogue to be pretty campy, but also pretty entertaining. It's not a game that takes itself too seriously while you're gunslinging your way through the frontiers. And so, let's dive on in. Let's take 30 minutes and find out whether or not this game is a good purchase for you. If after watching this you wanted to get the game for yourself, I got a link for you down below in the description. You can check that out. I've also got a bunch of other Nerd Castle links just in case you wanted to support or slide on through. But let's get going. So the general storyline up to here, I am an immigrant to a new country that is run by a technological syndicate. I have arrived here in these sort of Bioshock-esque environs in order to deliver an artifact from the mainland to an underground sort of mob boss kind of guy for unknown reasons. We don't really know why, and I've just made my way into the slums so that I can deliver that item to him. It's in my backpack. He's right over there on the stars, so let's head on down the road and see how things go.
Hey, Eddie, you heard anything about a circus rolling into town?
Nah, haven't caught wind of it. Damn, just look at that guy. Is that a face or what? Just like my mother-in-law when me and Lizzie were marrying, right? Hey.
The policemen start laughing, apparently blocking the way for the strange crowd led by the dwarf. Everyone but him appears utterly devoid of comprehension. In a bizarre reaction to the jest, the dwarf begins gesticulating with an air of near hysteria.
Let us in! Let us in! I must speak to Director Zindo immediately. The horrors, pure horrors, I tell you. I've got secrets to tell, dreadful secrets. I've seen them. I have proof. People vanishing, poof, without a trace. Leslie, it's a nightmare. What seemed like a great mind is but a sham. Awful, awful deeds. He's actually a fake. Little ones, old ones, entire families.
Tell us about the horrible things and maybe I'll help you, bro.
Don't trouble yourself. It's just another loon, probably high on orphan or something.
The dwarf begins to almost drown in the incoherent flow of words.
There's no time for that. No time at all. They clothed everyone. Director Zindo, his assistant. I must inform him at once. He needs to know everything. Leslie Harrington, that's a crime. They're dabbling in horrors, twisting ordinary folk into monsters. They must be exposed. Oh, the horror. People are going missing, abducted for their wicked experiments. Let us in. He must see.
Abruptly, a growl rumbles from the throng. Horror grips the dwarf's expression as one of his companions trembles, green liquid bubbling within the mechanism on his back. Gradually it spreads, enveloping the entire crowd of creatures. As their heads lift, a predatory glare fixes upon them.
No, stop! We have to see the director. He must...
Without warning, the creature flings the dwarf aside, his head meeting the ground with a resounding thud, silencing him. The crowd roars into the fray.
Oh, fuck!
I love the delivery on just that swearing right there. Like, it keeps it light, but it also, it lets you know that, like, something has gone seriously wrong because the cops who previously were just sort of mocking this guy and making fun of him, their levity is now turning into panic as they try to survive. That dude got knocked out, dude. He caught that right hook, just bing, bing, got him with that two-piece. All right, so inside of combat, there's a number of different things that you need to know about. We've got a number of different points. They're kind of divided out in a way that resembles something like Dungeons and Dragons. So you've got primary points, that's down here. We've got 2 of them. These are what you use for like sprinting, or you use them for a special ability with your weapon. Right now, there's not a lot of class selection inside of the game as it stands at the moment. I'm guessing that stuff's going to be added on later in development. Right now, you can either be like a steam engineer or like a cog engineer. You can be like a diesel engineer. That's what it is. You can be a diesel engineer or you can be a voodoo shaman. And those are the only real 2 differences as of right now. With my character, I've got a couple different abilities I can use. I could use a trick shot right here on a 5-turn cooldown, but that actually AoE'd the hell out of all of them. Let's go ahead and see if we can maybe light them up with a couple of pistol blasts right there, and then I'll probably step back a little bit to avoid being in melee because that's not my character's forte. On top of that, you've also got reaction points. This is the part that to me felt very influenced by Dungeons and Dragons. Each character has a number of things they can do when they are attacked that count as reactions. For some characters, it's going to be sidestepping and fanning your pistol into the enemy's guts. For other characters, it might just be a parry. It kind of depends. And then, on top of that, you've also got access to your movement points, which allow you to move around on the ground and are subdivided down to the decimal point. That's the end of our turn right there, so there's not really going to be much I can do now that I've used up all of my utilities. So we'll pass it on over to Big Mick, and we'll see what he can do. With Mick, I think what I'd like to do with him is that he's got this shockingly brutal hammer, and I think if I can just like stun this crowd over here, it'll at least buy us a little bit of breathing room, because the zombies are already aggroed on the cops, and I don't know if you noticed this, but none of the cops are a part of my party. Therefore, I don't really care about their safety or their survival. Like, if they make it out the other end of this fight with the slavering undead, okay, I'm fine with that. That's an acceptable outcome. But, like, if they don't, they're also not my amigos, so I don't really care. Let's gun him down real fast with my double shot. God, I love this double shot, dude. This double shot is my jam. We've made it through the fight. The policemen pause for a couple minutes to catch their breath, then one of them speaks to the other, but too softly for you to hear. The one you assume must be Ed nods in response and turns in your direction as Jeffrey approaches you. City weirdos, am I right? Thanks for your help, mister. We'll handle it from here. I have a few questions about what happened. Go ahead, just don't take all day about it. He said something about experiments. Do we know anything about that? Experiments on people, you mean? It's ridiculous. Since Director Zendo arrived, the streets have been swarming with police. If something awful like that was actually happening, I think we'd all know about it. Listen, don't waste your time on the ramblings of some lunatic. What about Leslie Harrington? Mr. Harrington is a famous technologist, big name in the town, but fame has downsides too. Poor folks go out of their way to try and smear good people like him. Just don't pay it any mind. What happens to him now? We'll deal with him. Yeah, anyways, it's not your concern. Okay. Can I loot him at least? Oh, I can loot the zombies, so that'll be good. Alright, let's zoom this camera back on out. Sometimes the camera work can get a little bit wonky in this game. Also, performance is going to be a little bit rough. I'm on a 4090 RTX, and sometimes this game chugs on maximum graphics, and so part of that is just the fact that, like, part of that is a good thing. Hear me out here. The developers of this game are incredible level designers. Every single part of this game feels lived in, and it feels alive. It always annoys me to tears when I play a game like Skyrim, and you go into like a major city, and they're like, "It's the jewel of the north! Almost the entire population of Skyrim lives here!" And then you get to the actual place, and there's like 9 NPCs in a couple of buildings. Not the case with this RPG. This RPG is actually like a large open living city where there's pedestrians wandering around. There's tons of scene setting. You can actually do like a little bit of forensic viewing as you go around to like see things imply kind of what happened there before you got there. It's really, really nice. What's going on back? I have to commit crime, do I? I'm gonna save before I talk to this guy because he's got giant gnarly chainsaws. An imposing automaton with saws for hands stands here muttering something to himself. Whoa, well that's what I mean by impressive size. As you draw near, he addresses you. Good day, sir. I apologize for the interruption, but could you lend me a hand, please? The automaton speaks slowly, pausing frequently, in sync with these gaps of viscid liquid trickles out of a hole in its side, forming a puddle on the ground. Let's do an observation check. One thing I really like about this game is that you can scroll down these options, and very frequently there will be options that allow you to like probe out the situation without advancing it. I like that a lot. You're going to be making a lot of dice rolls in this game. The game uses the same dice roll system as Dark Heresy, if you've ever played that before. It's a D100 system, meaning that you can have like a 55 in your diesel crafting skill, and if you make a diesel crafting check, you've got to roll underneath 55 in order to succeed. Observation-wise, I rolled a 20, so that's good. The automaton's housing is marred by deep gouges and scrapes, evidence that it's been involved in at least one violent skirmish. A hole from such a fight is the source of the oil leak, which seems to start dripping whenever it activates. Its fuel supply has been compromised, thus the sluggish speech. It's conserving energy in order to avoid a shutdown. Though you don't recognize the design, the automaton has some visible upgrades and may also have been reprogrammed. Okay, check the oil. Crouching down, you see the machine left an oily trail on its way here. You might learn more if you trace it to the origin. You need help, Metalhead? I am tasked with committing a crime. However, I have forgotten what nature of a crime that it was. I feel like a fool. Do you by chance know what crime I was supposed to commit? The pauses seem to be getting longer, and after its scattered words, the machine falls silent as if it's powered down completely. Let's check him with our tech knowledge, because I'm pretty good at tech knowledge. Yeah, we're good right there. You remove a tiny panel to inspect the machine's memory card, which is severely damaged. The only data that you can access is the incomplete crime command and a collection of dwarf jokes. Whenever the automaton attempts to access its memory card, the system crashes. There's also a disconnected pneumatic cylinder inside the casing that needs to be fixed. It might affect a linear motion of the automaton's hands. Okay, well, I mean, it said that we've got to follow the oil, and so maybe that's what I'll try to do. Let's follow the oil around and kind of... Actually, let's go deliver to our boss first, because he's a mob boss, and he can absolutely cinnamon toast wreck us if we don't. All right, inside we go. His shop, I think, is around the next block. Ooh, loot, hold on. Sir, I'm on my rounds, and it's not my work to take your personal caretaker to run to the hospital. Do yourself a favor and go out on your own. How am I supposed to move, you fool? I can barely walk. My wife's in need of a damn doctor. I'm so fed up with this. You pour the prime of your life into this country, and what does it do for you? Not a damn thing. The young policeman shifts uncomfortably, aching to escape, yet his youthful conscience keeps him close to the old man. The moment he notices you, a glint of hope sparkles in his eyes. You. No, you. What? He stares at you confused, then turns red with irritation. Damn you all, don't waste my time, for God's sake. Listen here. Help out this old man. There's supposed to be a doctor from the local Leprosarium checking on him, but not for me, you fool, my wife. For some reason, the doc's a no-show, and I can't be sprinting to the doctor for every citizen. I'm an officer, not a nurse. Got patrols to make, or the chief is gonna bury me. Everyone on edge with the bigwigs in town. Leprosarium's just a stone's throw away. You'll manage. Find it. Tell the damn doctor to come on his damn rounds. That's it. I'm off. Go, you idiot. Back in my day, the police didn't turn a blind eye to folks in the city. Abruptly turns around to face you. You there, my wife needs a doctor. Head to the Leprosarium and let them know. I don't have the strength to babble anymore. Audacity. Have they lost their minds or what? When they get old, they'll see what it's like. He averts his gaze and clams up. Perhaps it's good to explore the Leprosarium. One can only speculate about the level of curiosity among its audience. I don't know that I want to go anywhere called a Leprosarium. That sounds like the kind of place that you walk into and then like something spontaneously falls off you a couple days later. And I could think of at least a handful of things on my body that I would prefer to not have fall off. Our boss's office is over here. Let's go drop off the relic with him.
Oi. Bloody hell, are you hearing me? Operator? Flipping hell. Oi, operator. Get me Vinny Peg on the blower, would ya? Now! What do you reckon? I'm just gonna hang about here all night. Apologies, sure. I'm on hold here.
Observe closely. A stout dwarf, his beard as fiery as the plumage of a phoenix, is deeply engaged in a telephonic exchange. Ah, now he's spotted you. A raised index finger. The universal gesture to wait. For an ephemeral tick of the clock, the very particulate in the air around you seems to have frozen in time.
Oi, Vinny, is that you? Nah, don't be daft. Vinny, listen here, mate. We're all in the same boat, ain't we? I get it. You're a bit knackered with these syndicate blokes nosing around. But it's my gear what's been gathering dust in your lockup, innit? Vinny boy, tune in and drop the bollocks. Try and hustle me and you might end up underground, right alongside my contraband. You're getting the picture. Hey, Vin? Steady on, Vin. Stay sharp out there, yeah? Oi, how's Auntie Judith? She all right? That remedy I sorted for her, doing the job? Those puffy legs of hers slimmed out yet? Vinny? Vinny? Oh, bollocks.
Hey, boss. We're back to give you the lowdown. That gizmo you wanted is snug inside our guest suitcase. The very one partner's holding right now. Nothing but smooth sailing on my end.
Oi, there you are. How's the land of freedom treating you, mate? Look at you. I never expected Hilda's ward to grow up so fast. How was the trip? Got a warm welcome, I hope?
I will politely shake his hand.
Oi, blimey. Now ain't you looking dapper? Spot that, Mick? That's proper pedigree, that is. Blue in the veins and pure as the driven snow. Can't just toss that aside, mate. It's bred in the bone. None of that across the pond. It's all snark and snoot out here. Bit gritty for my tastes. And no bugger gives a toss. Where's the old school respect? You reading me? There's the wanderer. How was the old voyage, eh?
Minor complications, nothing significant.
I believe I'm starting to take a shine to you. That's our style, mate. Straight off the boat and right down to business. All right. However you got here, you're in the fold now. So let's have a toast, eh? Here's to that pair of us, the grand old continent, and the road that lies ahead.
Having declared his toast, it's evident that Red Simon is wholly committed and will brook no deviation from the ritual at hand. With a practiced flourish, Simon fills 3 glasses to the brim. He downs one, refills it, and repeats the ritual. Only after his 3rd pour does he turn to present the remaining drinks.
Here's to the fresh face.
To the success of our business.
All right, lend an ear. Picture young me, fresh off the boat, wide-eyed and fancy-free, a pioneer through and through. Didn't know a single soul in these parts. It was all on my shoulders. Every lesson and every scar was hard-earned. But tally it up now and look at the man before you. A dwarf of principle and honor. But fear not, mate. I'm gonna lay it all out for you. So get scribbling. The do's, the don'ts, the beasties that lurk in the shadows, and even what colour trousers best suits the game here.
Simon tops off his drink, draining the last of the spirits. There's a moment of silent lament for the empty bottle before he swiftly discards it, and he's back in the narrative rhythm, puffs of cigar smoke punctuating his words.
You got any clue at all what the New World's game is, mate? This bloody continent. It's a massive metaphorical melting pot, and it stews up every sod that lands here, every last one. Stick around and you're stamped with the Citizen of the New World label, see? Wizards, tech heads, sketchy figures, ladies of the night, and yes, even those pesky goblins. The whole lot of them. They're all jostling and using one another, all chasing that grand dream. doesn't matter what your dream is. What you've got to keep fixed in your noggin is that to reach it, you need the whole motley crew. Every bleeding one of them. And here's the kicker. From one old-timer to another, every single one of them needs a bit of you in the mix. Right, I'm talking too much. Let's get down to business. You brought the artifact, yeah?
Here it is.
Simon is extremely gentle with the suitcase, as though it contained armed explosives. Turning it towards himself, he opens it, and a subdued radiance bathes his face in a golden glow.
You think Fortune's smiling on us, boss?
What's that?
Boss?
Yeah, Fortune is smiling on us today. Incredible, ain't it? Never did get much of all that wizardry stuff. But they do have a knack for dressing smart, don't they? Mages have got that flair, no doubt.
Simon swiftly snaps the suitcase shut and stows it out of sight.
Now for the less than jolly part of our tale. There's a group round these parts, goes by the name Arcane Tribunal. A bunch of magical purists causing a ruckus for the Syndicate. You'll find the Tech Syndicate's fingerprints all over anything remotely magical. Not a single artifact slips past them, especially without the right papers. There's a top-notch magical item detector at the station. The plan was simple. Grab a suitcase, jump on a train, head to the capital, and call it a day. But now, mate, we've got ourselves a wee snag. Everything was running smoothly. Had my own people everywhere. No clouds on the horizon. Then, about a week ago, a train conks out and they can't get it running again. Director Zindo himself drops in and takes charge. Now his lot's taking over all the key posts at lightning speed. Absolute migraine for our little operation, I tell ya. So those bloomin' Syndicate brass planted their own bloke, Alazar Cogsmith, right in the supervisor's seat. And what's his first move? He sacks my bloke, of course. My Tobias is a fine fellow, and never one to pass up a drink. Could hold his own on just about any subject. And when it comes to running the magic detector at customs, he always knew how to keep his mouth shut and when not to poke around. You follow? Now we've got this fresh face, Harold Fugar, with his own agenda. He's already shipped 4 loads to the warehouse, says he's running his own show and wants nothing to do with me. If he gets the slightest inkling that something's off in the cargo, our little adventure's over.
All right, what do you want me to do?
You're fresh blood round these parts. No reputation to speak of and no debts. You're a clean slate. Catch my drift? What I need is to get my Newman back into the railway business. What I need is to get my Newman back into the railroad business. I need someone I can rely on to conveniently overlook your magical baggage.
All right.
All right, step 1. Get rid of Newman's stand-in, Harold Fugar, and have a chat with Tobias. He should be ready to get back to work. Here are their addresses. Nick will tag along and cover your rear. Off you go. Best of luck, and keep a sharp eye out for trouble.
I know that cutscene was a little bit long, but I really wanted to grind in how good the production values are with this game. This is clearly a team that's stretching their funding as far as they can possibly stretch it in order to make an immersive world where the conversations feel natural and the characters are believable. So far, for all of the spoken voice portions, I've enjoyed the game a lot. All of the characterizations have been quite good. Let's see what's going on. So we've got to cross a bridge, and we've got to go over and do Simon Says. I've also got something called the First Rule of. Oh, and that's for the doctor that we gotta find. So it seems like to me everything's off in this direction. We'll kind of like cruise around. I will do some light sifting through trash cans to see if I can find anything worthwhile to add to my collection, because this game does have a crafting system, given the fact that my character is indeed an engineer. That's nice. I can make things like grenades, bullets, bombs, explosives, all of the fun things that everybody likes to use in order to make their lives easier. While I'm cruising around, anybody with a blue outline while I'm holding down the out key is going to be something that we can investigate. Somebody has something to say, or they're offering a service, or something we can do with them. Sometimes it's just like the non-standard response that the other NPCs will give you. You know, most people will be like, how you doing today? But they'll actually give you some context on the world. Other time it might be quests. Sometimes it's guys that have like crafting insights that they can give you. Is this Simon's house right here? Whose house is this? This looks like a really, really nice house. Everybody's got these red rugs, and there's so much wood. Very, very pricey nowadays. They got the wood paneling over here. Nobody's painted over it. That's just good, solid taste. Let's step forward real fast.
Inside the grimy hovel, a man's form leans heavily upon a table. His trembling grip suggests he could collapse at any moment. Empty bottles are scattered around the room, signs of a losing battle with alcohol-induced delirium. And directly across from this man...
What the hell? Did I get a knock on the head? Or are you seeing that green fairy too?
Ah! It appears we have company, my dear Mr. Newman. Would you care to join us? I happen to have with me the most exquisite moonshine you will ever taste, crafted in the Free States and distilled with the essence of pure magic. Utterly ethereal, I assure you.
My wife's gonna murder me for this.
Indeed, Toby, indeed. Here's to the two of us!
Unable to support his own weight any longer, Toby crumples until his head comes to rest on the table with a thud. The fairy shakes his little head disapprovingly and refills his glass.
He don't look that little to me. He looks like grown man size. If that's little, I mean, look at the size of Mick, you know what I mean? Like, maybe he's little compared to Mick, but like, compared to me, seems more like a normal size. Toby, you need to dry out. You got to go back to work.
A jarring croak emanates from Toby Newman's throat, but your words fall on deaf ears. His consciousness resides in a distant realm, far removed from the here and now. Tobias Newman remains oblivious, but the fairy plainly finds your proposition distasteful.
I must respectfully decline. Mr. Newman is in the midst of a critical tasting session for my latest product. His capacity for imbibing my moonshine is truly remarkable. A toast to your remarkable stamina, Toby. Let us set aside any thoughts about your wife, that lamentable woman. She obviously does not appreciate your true worth. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
This doesn't look good, partner. The fairy's got a real hold on this guy. He's gonna drown himself in booze.
I could go for a persuasion check, or we could have a drinking contest with the fairy. I can punch the fairy in the face, or I can imply that he's afraid of Toby's wife. Let's try that.
A bizarre thing to say.
Ah.
Completely false.
Okay. I'm definitely not tracking down another moonshine tester, so punch him in the face. Mick's up first. Mick, I'm gonna need you to step up to here, and I'm gonna need you to stunninate that guy. I want him to get no turn. I want his turn to be permanently locked down. All right, so we'll end his turn. My character over here will spin a little bit wide. I don't know how close I need to be for my gunshots to hit consistently. But he dodged. I got XCOM'd with a 97% chance to hit. This guy is actually kind of tough, and I'm a little bit worried about it. He's soaked a lot of damage so far. Because we skipped his turn, we're back onto Mick. He dodged that one too. With a 100%, huh? Okay. Let's leave him where he's at because there are attacks of opportunity in this game. Let me unload on him a little bit further and see if maybe we can get that health slim down to a manageable level. First damage going out right now to Mick. He's also got 3 stacks of poison on him, which is definitely going to be something to contend with. How do I keep getting dodged at a 100% hit rate? I'm becoming concerned. Drink a health potion real fast. They've got inventory slots that you can put random consumables inside of, so I figure that'll help us out there. I'm just going to keep mag dumping him and hoping we come out the other side in one piece. Hey, we are victorious. Little bit of XP. Silence falls. I believe we're now good, Mr. Newman. You have time to come to your senses before we settle everything with the railroad. Is there anything lootable inside of here? What's he got on him? He's got a thigh bone, and he's got a monster's organ. Okay. Anything else? I mean, this place looks like it's chock-a-block with fun stuff to loot, but I guess this guy's associated with the cartel we're with. Probably leave it alone. Stun grenades are good, though. I definitely take those. And we've got a level up to play around with. Also, my inventory is absolutely just full right now. Is that an entire grown bird inside my inventory? Why, yes, it is, I casually respond. We've got an eclectic voodoo amulet up there that I haven't even bothered to equip yet. Or is that a belt? Oh, it goes up there. Okay. Maybe I can't use it because I'm not a voodoo guy? I don't know. It's not letting me equip it. Huh. Maybe only magicians can equip it. I do have some level ups to play around with, though. So my character right now is specialized pretty heavily in engineering. Every time you level up, you get 5 skill points you get to apply. That's pretty much it. However, there are perks and things that you will find for your party as you go through the game if you stumble upon, like, secret interactions. So there are actually some pretty complex dialogues that if you successfully navigate them, you'll unlock, like, permanent perks that just make your character better as a sign that you got through and actually resolved that in the hardest possible way. I found that to be enjoyable. Mick, I mostly use him for athletics, prying things open, breaking things, all that kind of stuff. Those grenades, too. Let me put them bombas in my inventory. Give one to Mick. You throw another potion in right there. Give that to Mick. Inventory navigation could use some work, though. The inventory system is kind of clumsy. You can't really, like, pass items to other characters without opening up little menus and things. I would prefer it if you could just drag and drop to the portrait, but you can't. So, way she goes, I suppose. We'll put more health potions on my tank since he's the one that's going to be doing everything. All right, let's head outside. There was also, I needed to talk to the doctor over here about that guy's wife's leprosy or something. An emergency vehicle for patient visits that looks abandoned. The vehicle's in good condition, quite new. All the parts are working and some of them might be useful. I can take the piston out of his car? Dude. Are we really at that point in our quest where we're so broke that we're stealing catalytic converters, man? Like, I'll break out the Sawzall if I need to, but, like, are we sure we're there? All right, oh my God, those are like the world's most threatening surgery robots. You couldn't have made them like, you could have made the form factor have a little bit more bedside manner. Like, it's just a giant dude with a gropey hand and a saw. He does have a kind of a cat-like head though, so I guess that's a little bit, it's a little bit of help. A man in a lab coat is standing in the center of the room encircled by huge automatons. He's mumbling irritably and rhythmically clenching and unclenching his fists. I mean, he could be clenching and unclenching his ass, so that's preferable. Dr. Bailey was supposed to do the rounds today, but the woman's a no-show, despite a whole pile of work that needs doing. Mr. Simon's the only one I can rely on in the whole damn city. I know a Red Simon. That's Mr. Simon. He's a real businessman. Need workers that don't complain, he's got them. Need something organized fast, he'll do it. Did you say you know him? You want to make some money? It's for a humane cause for the Leprosarium and its patients. These automatons aren't, oh, it's a -20. I'll have a 7% chance. Okay, never mind. What kind of work? My colleague Dr. Bailey didn't show up today, and I need somebody to do the rounds in the district. And I mean, this is exactly why I use nurse automatons. They never abandon their duties. Anyways, visit 3 patients, offer them a place in the Leprosarium, but to put it delicately, we accept mages only. And they must be in reasonably good physical condition. We need them early in the course of the infection because we're trying to find a cure. That's it. The humane matter is also a delicate matter. Okay, what are you paying? Good money. I know how things are done in this city. Okay. Give me them addresses. Magnificent. I'll get you on that list right now. Here it is, but don't take too long. The next round of checkups is coming soon. Okay. Keep quiet. Patients need to restore their powers before recovery. We'll go back outside, I guess. I also gotta find this Harold guy. I'm guessing he's down at the docks, but it doesn't look like we've got like a really great path to get there. I'm gonna go this way, maybe? Yeah, let's see if we can work our way around, and if anything comes up while we're cruising around town, maybe it'll help out. But most of the conflict in this game is due to the fact that a large organization called the Tech Syndicate runs everything very repressively. It's very much Bioshocky in the respect that it looks utopian on a surface level when you first get here, but once you're actually involved in the storyline, it's pretty clear that they're like censoring and like holding people back and generally just kind of being repressive. And so, what's going on over here? Is this our guy? Oh, that is our guy.
Lost in his own world, Harold Fugar is for several moments oblivious to your presence. He's engrossed in counting crisp dollar bills, his well-fed visage radiating an aura of smug contentment. The flushed cheeks, the twinkling eyes, the broad, satisfied grin, and, most notably, the pristine leather gloves all convey an unmistakable message. This dwarf's life has taken a turn for the better. But then Mr. Fugar finally notices you, albeit too late. He hurriedly tucks the money out of sight and rises to his feet with a frustrated scowl. In the background, a pair of towering giants labor on, loading crates onto a high shelf.
Shh. Enough with the gawking. Who the hell are you? And what the fuck are you doing here, huh?
Since Fugar and his group are drinking right outside the brothel, they might have been inside recently. If that's the case, who knows what sort of gossip you could pick up from chatting with the brothel workers about him.
Give me an observation check.
Not this time, my friend. Nothing interesting catches your eye among the stacks of boxes.
Damn. If I was just playing by myself, I'd save scum that. That's just how I work. I'll try to charm him first.
Now listen up. We like to have a brief chat with anybody poking around in our affairs. Fellas, let me a hand here and escort these gents off the premises.
Nope, don't like that. Not with me out front anyways. How much HP do these guys have? Way too much. Okay. I'm gonna fall back. I wasn't planning on murdering this guy. I was gonna try to finesse my way through it, but like, I don't think it's gonna go that way, man. Let's just light him up the best we can. God, I love that cleaving on my pistol. So he gets a move next. I'll probably fall back a little bit further so that they focus on Mick. I do have a stun grenade, actually. Let's stun him. Oops, I clicked the wrong button. Damn it. I didn't mean to do that. Aw, dude. Okay. Yep. The man's got hands. Mick, you're gonna want to do something here real soon. Otherwise, this isn't gonna work out for us. If you could stun those two, that'd probably be good. Yeah, cancel out the rest of their turn, and then stun this guy so that he's up and out of our business for right now. And then maybe close the gap over here, possibly. Yeah, go over there. That sounds good. And then we'll end your turn. Everybody else is just going to rotate around. I'm going to use my movement points to go over to here. And I need my double bang shots going out because I need dead enemies more than anything else. He should be able to finish him off, so I'll soften both. Oh, we got him with a Ricky. Hell yeah. Okay. That guy hasn't even gotten his turn yet, so I'll end right here. And then I guess we're going with murder. I kind of feel bad about it. Typically, I don't choose all the combat options in games like this, but this time around it was necessary. That guy's back up and running. You drink a health potion real quick. It's not. He's got like a billion HP, so it's probably not going to help that much. And then stand in front of my gunslinger. Over here, I've got a 100% chance to hit him. Okay. Throwing out a couple of punches with his giant, ridiculous gloves. Give him something back with the sledgehammer. Ooh, he had a reaction. Okay. I could see that being a little bit of a problem. Over on this side. Back to... Oh, I gotta reload. Damn it. Using too many bullets out here, man. The spirit of the spray and pray is strong within me. I don't think I need to stun him, though. I'm not getting my reactions right here, which is weird. Why am I not getting my reactions? He should have a block ability that allows me to, like, block damage out here. There we go. Big crit. That'll help. And we've successfully gunned down the thugs in broad daylight, which hopefully will not have any legal ramifications whatsoever. He had a flame grenade on him, so it's a good thing he didn't throw that. And then we've got $1, a cheese, and a piece of coal. Chances are we were going to find some kind of, like, pressure that we could apply on him inside the brothel, but I didn't think that failing the charm check would cause me to initiate combat. But my name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. This is New Arc Line. I think it's fantastic. I think it's really, really great. Most of the problems I've seen have been on a technical level, so sometimes the game crashes. That's just a fact. I think it's crashed on me 3 times in 2 hours, so it's a little bit crashy, and it's always happened to me during load screens. So something to be aware of. The game is made in Unreal. Unreal is notoriously crashy. You get the little pop-up window whenever it happens. It happened to me frequently enough, so it'll probably happen to you. And then from there, I've noticed that the dialogue actually does not match up with the subtitles sometimes, but that's more of like a minor thing. Aside from that, dude, this is a really, really good D&D style RPG with sort of like consequences and like ways to work your way through quests, at least like 2 or 3 different resolutions to the quests. There are sometimes consequences for the ways that you manage to make your way through quests and the methodology that you decided to fall back upon. But by and large, this is really, really good in a world where CRPGs don't really get made anymore. And when they do get made, they've always got some kind of fundamental flaw. This is a game that's doing a fantastic job, so thumbs up for the early access. Developers, keep at it. See y'all later.